Joining me now, we have the outgoing Democratic Congresswoman from California, Barbara Lee, and a good friend to us. So my question to you first off is, what is driving your colleague, Congresswoman Mace, who we should note previously has said she supported LGBTQ rights, to lead this charge?
Well, nice being with you, Alex. It looks like she's being driven by money and popularity and trying to send a message out that's disgusting and that's dangerous. Also, I mean, come on. What does she want? To have a police man or woman to police the bathrooms? It's really sickening, and I don't know what's driving her, because in the past, she hasn't been that hostile. But I say we have to circle the wagons. Congresswoman-elect McBride is coming to Congress to do her job like every other member of Congress, and so we just have to call this out for what it is. It's disgusting, it's hateful, and it's dangerous, and she's promoting hate, and it's more than likely probably for her own political fundraising, but whatever it's for, it's wrong.
Oh, she's got the T-shirts going, that's for sure. But with regard to Representative-elect McBride, here's the reaction from her, because she said in a social media post, "I'm not here to fight about bathrooms. I'm here to fight for Delawareans and to bring down costs facing families. Like all members, I will follow the rules as outlined by Speaker Johnson, even if I disagree with them." Do you think she should, or would anybody else take up this fight?
No, you know what? I'd leave it. I think Congresswoman-elect McBride is very focused on her district, on why she was elected, and doing a good job. And so she makes her own decisions about how she wants to approach this hate. And we would all, of course, circle wagons and support whatever her decision is. But that's the bottom line is it's wrong. What Mace is doing is perpetuating hate and raising money around that. And again, it's disgusting, it's dangerous, and nobody cares about this, and except her and her right-wing efforts to try to demonize transgender people. And I tell you, I'm disgusted with it. I helped found the Equality Caucus for the primary purpose of making sure everyone was treated fairly and justly and right.
You issued a statement in support of Senator Bernie Sanders' last-ditch efforts during the Biden administration to block some arms sales to Israel, this over the civilian deaths in Gaza. The Senate rejected the measures this week, signaling there is still widespread bipartisan support for U.S. military assistance to Israel. So as you get ready to leave the House, how do you expect the next Congress to handle the war that rages on, this under the Trump administration next?
Sure, Alex, and let me just say, this was a very broad-based letter that included Jewish members of Congress. It involved a variety of members who really believed that we supported and continue to support weapon systems for defensive purposes, but not offensive weapons. And in fact, when you look at the 45,000 people now who have been killed in Gaza. Look at the deaths in Lebanon. We're on the brink of a regional war with a humanitarian catastrophe. We have to get the humanitarian supplies in. People are dying. People are starving. And it's time to have a ceasefire. And I think what this letter demonstrated, and what those 19 senators rightfully did, was send a message that the tax dollars that we're spending for offensive weapons. Once again, the Iron Dome I've supported, David Sling, all of the defensive measures that prevent Israelis from being killed and hurt from terrorists. That's something we've always supported, but not offensive weapons that are going to continue to kill innocent civilians, women and children, and prevent for a ceasefire. And what is taking place, I've always said, is counterproductive anyway to Israel's security. And so in order to develop peace in the region, a path to peace, we have got to stop this. We have got to be, in the United States at least, has to be that moral voice with clarity to the Netanyahu government right now, while the Biden-Harris administration is in power, that we have to have a ceasefire. We have to prevent a regional war from taking place, because that we are on the brink of that. And we have to stop the killing of innocent civilians and children and men and women everywhere in Lebanon and Gaza, and have to call for a ceasefire and a path to peace. And that's very difficult, but the United States needs to stand up and send that message very clearly. And I think by signing this letter, we all said no more offensive, mind you, offensive weapons with our tax dollars.
Let me get to the fact that you are a senior member of the House Appropriations Committee that controls the federal purse strings, and many Republicans are praising Donald Trump's new Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. It's going to be led by Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk, as a way to address what they call government waste. Here's Senator Tuberville. Take a listen.
I think this is the best thing that President Trump has done to this point of putting these two in charge of going after fraud and overspending and oversight. Just look at the military. 7 audits that have not passed muster. We have got to find out where all this money is going.
Look, you too have expressed frustration over the lack of accountability and transparency at the Pentagon after it recently failed its 7th audit in a row. Will this help?
Well, let me just say, first of all, I think that what the ultimate goal is of Donald Trump is what Steve Bannon came in early on during his first term saying they want to dismantle, the federal government, really, the administrative state. So their moves, when you look at Project 2025, is about consolidating and diminishing the role of the federal government to where there are no guardrails between the administration, the courts, and the White House. And so this is a move toward dismantling the administrative state. And of course, I led the effort with a Republican to require the Pentagon to be audited. We need resources for housing and for schools and for health care and for job creation in our own country. And here we have a Defense Department that is up to nearly $1 trillion, had never been audited, mind you, until myself and a Republican member put it in a bill to force them to be audited. They've failed 7 audits. Imagine the amount of waste, fraud, and abuse there is in the Pentagon that could be used to invest in domestic spending. So I'm going to always, whatever I'm doing, be fighting to make sure that we reduce this defense budget, that we make sure our troops are safe, that they're protected, that they have the resources they need, that their families do. But waste, fraud, and abuse, we need to get to the bottom of it with the Pentagon. But bottom line, Donald Trump is trying to dismantle the administrative state like Steve Bannon wants him to set up no more guardrails between the administration, between the legislative branch of the Supreme Court, and that's very dangerous.